சரணடைந்தேன் தேசமுத்துமாரி. தேடி உன்னை சரணடைந்தேன் தேசமுத்துமாரி. தேடி உன்னை சரணடைந்தேன் தேசமுத்துமாரி. கெடதனை நீக்கிடுவாய் கேட்ட வரம் தருவாய். தேடி உன்னை சரணடைந்தேன் தேசமுத்துமாரி. கெடதனை நீக்கிடுவாய் கேட்ட வரம் தருவாய். தேடி உன்னை சரணடைந்தேன் தேசமுத்துமாரி. கெடதனை நீக்கிடுவாய் கேட்ட வரம் தருவாய். தேடி உன்னை சரணடைந்தேன் தேசமுத்துமாரி. பாடி உன்னை சரணடைந்தேன் பாசமெல்லாம் களைவாய். 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 கோடி நலம் செய்திடுவாய் குறைகள் எல்லாம் தீர்ப்பாய். கோடி நலம் செய்திடுவாய் குறைகள் எல்லாம் தீர்ப்பாய். தேடி உன்னை சரணடைந்தேன் தேசமுத்துமாரி. ஆதாரம் சக்தி என்றே அருமறைகள் கூறும். 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 யாதானும் தொழில் புரிவோம் யாதும் அவள் தொழிலாம். யாதானும் தொழில் புரிவோம் யாதும் அவள் தொழிலாம். துன்பமே இயற்கையெனும் சொல்லை வருந்திடுவோம். துன்பமே இயற்கையெனும் சொல்லை வருந்திடுவோம். இன்பமே வேண்டி நிற்போம் யாவும் அவள் தருவாள். இன்பமே வேண்டி நிற்போம் யாவும் அவள் தருவாள். நம்பினோர் கெடுவதில்லை நம்பினோர் கெடுவதில்லை நான்கு மறை தீர்ப்பு. 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 அம்பிகையை சரண் புகுந்தால் அதிக வரம் பெறலாம். அம்பிகையை சரண் புகுந்தால் அதிக வரம் பெறலாம். தேடி உன்னை சரணடைந்தேன் தேசமுத்துமாரி. கெடுதலை நீக்கிடுவாய், கேட்டவரம் தருவாய். தேடி உன்னை சரணடைந்தேன் தேசமுத்துமாரி.
Hello and namaskarams everyone. This is Sriranjani Gopalan, and today we have here with us Padma Bhushan, Sangeetha Kalanidhi, Srimati Sudha Ragunathan.
Namaste.
Namaste Akka. I think it's a great opportunity for a young musician like me to pick the brain of such a legend, someone who has seen it all, who has achieved it all. Thank you Akka for being with us.
My pleasure
today.
always.
There is one question that has been running in all our minds that we want an answer for, and who better than you to give the answer for this? That question is that, is there such a thing as sustained stardom anymore? I mean, we see overnight fame thanks to social media. Everybody has some amount of following and some amount of success, but there is such a thing as sustained stardom that you have achieved, and many legends like you have achieved. Do you think such a thing exists anymore?
In my opinion, there is definitely sustained stardom. Of course, we need to first define what stardom means, what sustain means, and then put them together and see if it makes sense. But I believe there has been, there have been so many legends and so many great masters. We listen to their music still and learn from them. There is and there will be, definitely. What one achieves overnight, you yourself have defined what it is. It's like fast food.
Absolutely.
What will you do with the overnight stardom is what really matters. You can use the overnight stardom to reach the goal of sustained stardom. You could do that. But at the same time, you could also lie back and say, I'm complacent, I'm happy with what I've got. I'm comfortable with what I've got, and not work towards moving the edge of the territory of your performance ability or creativity or brain work or repertoire. So it really depends on one's perception of what sustained stardom is. But in my opinion, I think it still exists.
It's possible.
I'm glad that there are many stars shining. It's good to have stars, and I think the music field benefits by more stars.
But is there a particular formula? See, you've seen so much, you've seen it all, as I said. So is there a particular formula to achieve that sustained success? There are so many aspirants of that particular sustained success. So do you have any advice for them?
Anyone who starts out as a performer would like to achieve that, definitely. It's not wrong to think that. It's not wrong to dream that. You should, realistically. So it's good to look at that as a horizon and move towards it. There is a formula, but I think the formula changes for every person, for every individual, because every individual is bestowed with different advantages, with different pluses. So we have to identify what our minuses, where our shortcomings lie, and work on those, and then bring the balance to achieve sustained stardom.
Amazing. Akka, MLV Amma is a legend. Her music is out of the world. But what drew you in particular to her music? And there's another question I wanted to ask. Ninga avalta class la nariya kattundirpil, but what are the things? See, you've accompanied her on stage numerous times. So what are the things that you learned from her on stage? I'm asking this question because I want the students of music to know the importance of accompanying their guru on stage. So
See, actually, there are 3 questions in your one question. The first is why and how it's wrong to say choose, how I came under the tutelage of my guru. She is something that you need to, her relationship, yours or mine or anyone's, our relationship with her is something that needs to be experienced. வார்த்தையால சொல்ல முடியாது. I can talk about what my stint with her was for 13 years over days together. அவ்வளோ நடந்திருக்கு experience wise. Actually, she used to come to Bangalore to perform for Ramanavami and the other Habbas, the Ganesh Habba and all that. And my mother was a very great fan of MLVMA's music. So I would go along with her, and I must have been about 3, 4, 5, that range. And I would sit, and then they had never had chairs, especially Seshadripuram. They had just a pandal, and we would sit on the mud. And I would make my own columns, keep drawing stuff. And then at the same time, all her music would go into my ears. So when this idea of national scholarship came up, who are you going to learn from? Then I didn't even think. I said, MLVMA.
Oh.
And then my mother said, are you sure she's somewhere there in the Himalayas and you're sitting here and just starting to flower out? And how do you think that she will even take you into her classes? So I said, எனக்கு தெரியாது, நீ கேட்ட நான் பதில் சொல்லிட்டேன். So then Appa found somebody who was a common friend, and we went to her house on Krishnashtami. And then the moment I saw her, I knew she was the person. I could not have gone to anybody else.
You were at what age when you...
I was 17 when I went to her. So when I received the scholarship, I was 18. No, I was 2 years older. I think 19. Yeah. And the way she smiled at me, the way she interacted with me, I was a nobody, right? And she didn't know me from Adam. So the way she spoke to me with so much of affection, and she said, Krishnaருக்கு ஒரு பாட்டு பாடு, ஒரு நல்ல நாள்ல வந்திருக்கே, sing something. And then I sang. I don't even remember what I sang. Avlo nervous to sing. And I mean, in front of her is something unbelievable.
Absolutely.
And especially, I mean, if you're in a competition, it's okay. Or some other, formal function. But just to sit like this and sing for her was unbelievable and made me really a bundle of nerves. Well, I recovered and I sang something. And then she said, yes, you can put my name in the Guru category. But one thing I want to tell you is, she told my mother, she said, she will have to learn everything by herself. I will not have the time, because she was at the peak at that time.
Correct.
So I will be performing, traveling and all. I didn't even take in what it meant.
Okay.
I said, yes, nodded my head just because she had to sign over there. And then we left. And for 1 year, there was no news. So, there was an inkling of a doubt that maybe, it's stalled, this relationship. But then one day, the papers, the media had it that I had received the scholarship, and I was jumping with joy on one side. At the other side, I was confused whether I should stop my academic studies for the sake of this. It was a long journey. That's how I came to be known as disciple of M.L. Vasantakumari Amma. The other one is, you said classes. We've never had formal classes. Believe me, we've never sat down and she taught a line like that.
My God.
And even now, when I look back and think, how did I assimilate or internalize all these kritis? It baffles me, really. I think it's just her blessings.
Okay.
Sometimes, you say there's superpower, that you just look at a page, then it goes into your brain. So maybe she just looks at me and the kriti comes to me. Otherwise, how could I have learned hundreds of kritis? Just sat there behind her. You asked, the third question was, for disciples to know how they should utilize the opportunity that one receives to sit on stage with the Guru. I would not know who's come to the auditorium. That would be my focus on my Guru. I just sit and watch her every Sangati. Initially, I didn't sing with her, of course. I just play the tambura. So I just look at her and admire the way she interacted with audience, the way she would, change her kritis. She might have said something at home. Arabi could be the main kriti or something. And then she would go there and sing something totally different, Kalyani or something.
Yeah.
Then I would think, why did she do that? Why did the switch happen? But then over a period of time, I realized that she was gauging what was on the mind of the audience.
Okay.
And that's kind of mind reading and an invisible telepathy. So that's how I sat on stage. After the concert, people would come and say, I was sitting in the second row, I was sitting in the fourth row, you never even acknowledged my presence. I didn't see you, honestly.
The focus.
Just the focus on ML Vyama's face. Konja palaginappuram, of course, I would interact with the accompanying artists and smile and admire, say, and all that. But for 5-6 years, I was completely taken over, overwhelmed by her music.
Amazing. Indira Nui, Mrs. Indira Nui, once in your interview, she said, as a woman, you can't have it all. But looking at your life, it does look like you have it all. Is it true, or have you had to, I'm sure you have had to give up many things to get to where you are?
Well, have it all again is what you mean by have it all. In her mind, have it all could have been different package. In mine, it's different. But I agree with you. You can't have it all. You can't have it and also kind of, take the journey thus far. Like if I wanted to stand on the beach and eat shundal, or go to the waves and jump into the waves, or just, shout on the road and go singing on the beach road or something like that. I mean, I've never done all this. These are simple pleasures, right? But for some reason, I've never been able to do it in my teens, neither after. I think maybe now I've done it.
Oh, okay.
I go to some beach in Hawaii or LA or somewhere and then scream to my
You can't do it on
heart's
beach
filled.
road. You'll be followed by paparazzi here. I don't think you can do it in
Or the next
Madras.
day, somebody will have unbelievable that this happens. It's
Right.
atrocious. But you have to give up certain things to achieve certain things. That is the proportion. The balance lies there. And I don't think I've ever regretted what I've given up. Like if I haven't eaten ice creams for maybe years together, I don't regret it at all, because why would I? I gave it up to get something more precious. That's how I look at it. I look at the positive of what I've achieved rather than the negativity of what I gave up. That's how I look at it.
Have you not eaten ice cream in the past?
Now I eat.
Great.
I gave it up for 20 years after I had my tonsillitis removed. So he said, you are very sensitive, the body is sensitive to temperature change.
Okay.
Not the ice cream as such, but the temperature change that it brings in the body, the physical being.
Oh, okay. And finally, Akka, so you once in your interview said we have to develop a thick skin to be successful. While you might have developed that resilience, the family and friends might still be affected by gossip and the things that inevitably surround you from being successful. So how do you handle this? How do you help them handle this?
See, when it's a journey of 3-4 decades or even 5 in some cases, in the legends who have been there in the past, you see how they've handled it. Or MS Amma, or MLV Amma, or G and Saro. Have they not been thrown into gossip? They have. So it's natural. I think it's a natural process. When you become a public figure, you have to have the resilience. You have to have the willpower, the courage, the tenacity, the grit, whatever you want to call it. You can call it in different ways. But to me, I think I have gotten that right from a very early stage. Even when I was 30, I think I was, the will was very strong. And I think I got that from my mother.
Oh.
But also MLV Amma, because she would never take into her heart anything that anyone said abruptly or negatively. So when you keep watching someone you love so much, someone you admire so much, behaving thus, you slowly imbibe that, right?
Definitely. So
that has come into me. But I must say that more than me, I think my family, my husband, they are very strong. So, when the environment is strong, you automatically become strong. So even in a case where, there were so many especially with social media growing.
Oh God, yeah.
The slightest drop of a hat, you get written and sometimes written off. So I was a little perturbed, that you have given so much of your music with so much love. And is this the way that the public needs to react to it? But Raghu said, that is what makes them a normal human being. So you be abnormal, he said.
Wow.
He said, you be abnormal, accept it. அதை வேண்டாம் நீ ஒதுக்குற அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிட்டு ஒதுக்கிடு ஏத்துக்கோ அதை ஏத்துக்கரிச்சே நமக்கு we become stronger.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So you become stronger and then you become lighter when you push it aside.
Amazing, Akka. I learned so much today. I think this was such an enlightening session, not only for young musicians, but there was so much life advice for everybody. So thank you so much for doing this, Akka. This is a great honor.
My pleasure,
and
I'm very, very happy to have spent some time with you today.
Thank you.
Value time.
Thank you, Akka. Namaskaram.